Call the meeting to order for the Urban Renewal Authority. Have a roll call, please.
Good evening, everyone. Commissioner Dennehy?
Here.
Grantham?
Here.
Hamrick?
Here.
Maloney?
Here.
Reeser?
Here.
Schmischer?
Here.
Stein? Tracy?
Here.
Troutman?
Here.
Worthington?
Here.
Chairman Payne?
Here. Thank you very much. I ask you to stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item is citizens requesting to speak to the Urban Renewal Authority. See none, we'll move on to the consent agenda. We have 3 items there. Executive Director, if you would want to review those and have any statements.
Yes, sir. You have the approval of the minutes from the September 4th meeting, receive and file the quarterly unaudited financial statements, and receive and file cash disbursements.
Okay. Any comments and/or questions?
No comments, but maybe a point of personal privilege. I'd just like to say konnichiwa to any of our members that may be in Japan.
Konnichiwa.
Entertain a motion for the consent agenda.
I move we accept the consent agenda as written.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Dennehy?
Aye.
Grantham?
Aye.
Hamrick?
Aye.
Maloney?
Aye.
Reeser?
Aye.
Schmischer?
Aye.
Tracy?
Aye.
Troutman?
Aye.
Worthington?
Aye.
Chairman Payne?
Aye. Thank you. Move on to the financial report. Invite the treasurer for her detailed report.
All right, we have a September beginning balance of $1,195,117.62. We had a $50,000 grant to Sally's Bakery. The Canyon City Rec District shareback was $2,116.14. Fremont County shareback was $21,556.99. Are you auditing me, Mr. Grantham? Does that look okay for you? Then we have a $42,250 also grant for Sally's. School district shareback was $29,883.53. Fire district shareback, $37,001.18. And then we had a loan repayment to the city of $5,421.62. The September ending balance is $1,006,888.16. That's September. October, another loan repayment to the city, $5,421.62. Legal services, $75. Schuster Printing, $464. Springbrook Holding Company, C-Care Financial Setup, $337.50. And a Pharisee Boys TIF reimbursement, $13,014.20. October ending, $987,575.84. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions or comments to the treasurer? Thank you, Madam Treasurer. Move on to the Executive Director report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. Don't have a whole lot for the Executive Director reports. Kind of following on to the financial report, we do have a sales tax increment payment coming from the city to the Urban Renewal. That was approved at the City Council meeting on Monday, so there will be another $289,000 and change coming back to the Urban Renewal Authority through sales tax increment. We continue to be working with the 4 Mile Ranch developers. They currently have a land use application that's open. They've been through one set of review. We're waiting for their second submittal. We do anticipate that they will have some urban renewal asks later in the process, but at this point, we don't know the particulars on how that's going to shake out. So that is continuing to work. And then I guess it'd be one more financial note. We were notified by our bank that they saw some concerning behavior in our account. So we have taken measures to close that account, and we'll be setting up a new account with the bank to make sure that we don't have any fraudulent charges being made against the bank account. Happy to take any questions.
Okay, any questions and/or comments? Seeing none, I want to acknowledge Commissioner Stein has joined the meeting. Thank you very much. We'll move on to a public hearing for the 2025 budget for the Urban Renewal Authority. At this time, I will open the public hearing. Invite the Executive Director to report.
Thank you again. The 2025 budget, we are anticipating about $902,000 in revenues with $8,590 in potential expenses. That is a shortfall of $106,222 that will be coming out of our reserves. We see the biggest increase in revenue coming from additional property tax assessments. So that will be coming through. Some of our projects that have been completed are now being assessed for their completed values. So we're seeing those additional property taxes coming through. That is also going to be the largest expense as well, because as we take in more property tax, we have shareback agreements with our other taxing entities. So we have to make good on those shareback agreements. So that's one of those big expenses that will be coming out, and that is showing under the other fees and services line. Okay. I saw a question, but I think I answered it. Okay. We do see some, under the grants, you'll see some increased numbers there. Those are carryover numbers. So the life safety grant, it was $100,000 last year, showing us $200,000 for next year. We are anticipating that some of the grants that were awarded this year may carry over into next year. So that is being accounted for there. That is true in the life safety, the facade grant, and the building systems grant. So we are anticipating some of those to carry over. We are expecting to run our grant program similar to the way we did this year, where we have a period where we will take applications, and then after the application period, it'll become a first come, first served basis. So the life safety grant, the base grant that we'll have, the base amount that we will have for granting will be $100,000. The facade grant program, I will have to double check that. I think we upped that to, oh yeah, no, it'll be $5,250 again. And then the building systems grant will also be $75,000. Those will be the starting numbers for 2025. One thing that you will notice in the budget book itself, there's urban renewal projects under capital. That number was our program expenses. So because we have the new financial system, we're trying to track things more granularly. So we broke out both the sales tax TIF agreements and the property tax TIF agreements separately. Before those were lumped under those urban renewal projects. That is it for the budget overview. It's pretty simple and straightforward. Expenses are pretty close to the same as last year, with the exception of those shareback agreements going back to the taxing entities. Happy to take any questions.
Anybody have any questions? John? Go
Sure. On our first budget statement, the Oh, wait a minute, I'm sorry, that's not where I want to ask my question. Oh, well, yes, it is, I guess. So we're showing, the document I have shows $543,480 for operations, and that includes shareback amounts. Isn't that what the operations category?
It would include the shareback amounts under purchase services, yes.
And then in the document that I've got for the 2025 budget under grants, I've got double all the numbers that you had. I've got 200, 75, and 125. Those are the correct numbers?
Those are the correct numbers because we're carrying over from some of the projects that were awarded this year.
Is there so our budget is a little bit unbalanced in that we're having to draw from reserves. We certainly have substantial reserves to draw from. But on the last page that I have, or actually not the last page, but the page after the expenditure detail, the incentive detail page, it shows that we have close to 3 million, I think it is, in potential outstanding reimbursement amounts. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Those will be paid out over the life of those reimbursement agreements. Most of those are, I believe, 15 years or so.
And so that is the remaining amount for the life of the agreement, not for the budget year 2025.
That is correct. We have the agreement end dates there in that middle column. So that's when all those agreements expire. So we're showing the total, we're showing what the original agreement amount was, what's been paid to date, and then the remaining balance on each of those agreements.
So this is a little bit outside the budget process, but on those agreement amounts, is there some hang up in the companies requesting reimbursement, or is this just kind of like a payment schedule or something?
It's more of a payment schedule. So we only reimburse what has been generated, and so each year when they get their tax bill, they have to request that from the Urban Renewal Authority. So it is a process each time. Sales tax, we have folks remitting on a quarterly basis. So, for example, the Holiday Inn Express, they're pretty good about remitting on that quarterly schedule, and we just reimburse based off of what is generated.
Great. Thank you.
Okay, good. I'll go to Commissioner Schmischer.
Thank you, Chairman Payne. I also have a couple of questions about the 2025 budget under grants. Could you speak a little bit more about why we're proposing to still have the life safety grant and the building systems grant as two separate categories? I think when Sally's Bakery came forward, there was some conversation about was it really necessary and what was the purpose of having those two separate categories. So if you could speak a little bit more about that, that would be really helpful.
Yeah, I think the idea is that we still want to protect the projects that come forward for ADA accommodations and fire sprinkler systems versus those that are coming forward for electrical systems and plumbing. I guess if there's a desire of the board to combine the two, we can. But I think we were still looking from a staff side, having that set aside for the life safety requests that come through, because those tend to be the ones that are harder to fund or find additional funding for. Those fire suppression systems are expensive.
Okay. And then could you also speak a little bit more about the carryover amounts for those line items? For example, under the life safety grant, we show in our budget $100,000 for the 2024 budget and $100,000 for the 2024 estimated amount, but you had mentioned that there was carryover from 2024?
Yeah, I think what we had there is we had some carryover from 2023 to 2024, And now we have some carryover from the 24 projects to the 25 projects. So there's a little bit that we've got just kind of catching up there. Let's see, we've got, I know we had one project on Main Street that they're working through right now. They anticipate that they're going to be done by the end of the year, but we budgeted for the rollover in case they don't make that deadline.
Okay, okay. But the funding amount remains the same in 2025
Correct,
with 100,000?
correct.
So
Okay. And we'll be clarifying some of the terms of the grant program to make it clear that those rollovers are acceptable?
Oh, no, I apologize. I'm looking at the detailed report here. We have one carryover for 50,000, and it looks like we did up the life safety grant by 50,000. So the balance for new grants in 2025 would be 150,000.
Okay, so 150,000 for life safety, and what are the other?
The facade improvement would be, we would be starting 2025 with 52,500. And for the building systems grant, we would be starting 2025 with 75,000.
Okay. And we would, the grant program, we would be clarifying a bit so that everyone understands that rollovers are acceptable?
I think what we have, we can look in the grant program paperwork and clarify that. I think there's a little bit of discretion for things that roll over. Some of these were granted a little bit later, so just due to their agreement, it automatically rolls over because of when their completion date is supposed to be. But yeah, we can look at the programs and add any additional clarification if we need to.
That'd be great. Given that we've transitioned to a competitive process, I just want to make sure that folks aren't not applying because they're concerned about their projects not being able to be completed within the timeframe.
Yeah. Okay.
Great. Thanks so much.
we had discussed that rollover, it being kind of lenient on that because of contractors and just timing.
Right.
But, so this is combined on some of these figures. Would it be helpful if those were separated out on what exactly is going to be for 2025 and what would be for 2024 on a rollover? Would that help, or instead of combining them?
I would have to see what we can do from the finance side.
Oh.
But I think when we launch the competitive grants, we will make it very clear on what is available from the pool.
Yeah, okay.
Ryan, typically on financial statements, you can do like a footnote, so you could do sort of a footnote under the
Yep.
budget.
Yeah, there we go, just a footnote. Yeah. Yeah, so we know. Any other questions or comments? Okay, seeing nothing from the public, I will now close the public hearing. Ask for a motion.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
I move that the Canyon City area for reinvestment expansion that this board approve resolution number 3, series of 2024, a resolution to adopt the 2025 budget for the Canyon City area for reinvestment expansion and to make appropriations for the same.
We second
Second.
that.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Thank you for putting that whole thing out there. Appreciate that. Any further discussion? Roll call, please. Tim?
Aye. Oh, sorry. I heard Tim.
Commissioner Dennehy.
Oh,
Aye.
Grantham.
pardon me, stop for a second. I did not see your hand up, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's all right.
Just a quick question, Ryan, on the sharebacks that are on the purchase services, the other fees and charges. It's, and this is just maybe just a technicality, but would it be possible to actually name that for what it is? I mean, it's the most significant expense budgeted on there, and it seems like for sake of transparency, calling it what it is instead of other.
Would you have to create
be
a separate
better.
account, Ryan?
We would, because I think we also have the city's services charges in there, but we could create a separate shareback account.
I mean,
Yeah.
just, does it make sense what I'm saying? I mean,
It does.
It's the biggest number on that
Yeah.
right-hand column, and it
Yeah, we
says
could call
other.
we could call it shareback agreements.
So from a materialistic standpoint, it's like the biggest expense on here. It does make sense, I think, to have it a separate
Yep.
account.
Okay, so to clarify, you're talking about operations and separating out the share back, correct? So we're all on the same page?
You shouldn't need to change the motion. It's, the total budget numbers are not changing. It's just a matter of line items.
Just advice to staff, essentially.
Okay, is everybody good with that? Okay. Sorry, my apologies, I did not see your hand up, and I kind of rushed that. Okay. All right, now we can resume. Okay.
Dennehy,
Aye.
Grantham,
Aye.
Hamrick,
Aye.
Maloney,
Aye.
Reeser,
Aye.
Schmisher,
Aye.
Stein,
Aye.
Tracy,
Aye.
Troutman,
Aye.
Worthington,
Aye.
Chairman Payne.
Aye. Okay, Ryan, do you have anything else?
No, sir.
Okay, no further business coming before this board. We are adjourned.